Hi, before you begin your lesson with Mrs. Stewart, I would like to go over the copyright rules with you. What is copyright? It is the legal rights to an original work. Why are copyright laws written? To protect the financial interests of the creators, producers, and distributors of original works of information and art. What is fair use? Fair use provides an important copyright exception for teachers and students. Small portions of copyrighted works may be used in teaching when properly cited and noted that the materials are copyrighted and by who. There are four basic criteria for determining what is considered fair use. These must be passed to meet the law. The first one is purpose and character of use. What is the purpose of using the work? Is it for nonprofit educational purposes? The second thing is the nature of the work. What is the nature of the copyrighted work? Is it for general readership? And then the third thing that must be passed is the amount, substantially or portion. What is the amount of the work being used? The fourth thing that must be passed to meet the law is potential market. Does the use of the work negatively affect potential sales? Does it affect the value? Creative Commons. A fair use law was developed to provide guidelines in the use of copyrighted materials. Creative Commons is a licensing approach that creates a modified copyright zone rather than copyright-free public domain zone or restricted traditional copyright zone for creators like you who want to be generous and give their works away. So what is it? It's a nonprofit organization that provides free licenses and other legal tools to mark creative work with the freedom the creator wants to have. What does it do? It works alongside copyright so the creator can modify their copyright terms to best suit their needs. How does it work? Creators choose from a set of conditions they wish to be applied to their work. How does Creative Commons apply to students and teachers? Attribution is the first thing. You can copy, distribute, display, and perform copyrighted work, but only if you give credit to the creator. Share alike. You can distribute derivative works only under a license identical to the terms to the license that governs the creator's work. And derivative just means that something that is based on another source. Non-commercial. You can copy, distribute, display, and perform creator's work and derivative works based upon it for non-commercial purposes only. And then no derivative works. Distribute, display, and perform only verbatim copies of creator's work, not derivative works based upon it. And now we're going to talk about public domain. What is it? It's works that are not protected by intellectual property laws. They may be used by anyone without obtaining permission, but no one can ever own them. What does public domain do? Collections of public domain material may be protected by the collective works copyright. One may use individual images within a collection without permission, but not the entire collection. And how does it work? The works arrive in the public domain in four ways. There might be an expiration of copyright, or a failure to renew copyright, or the creator deliberately places the work there in the public domain, or no copyright protection is available. And then I thought it would be helpful if we talk about the copyright regulations for different formats. There's lots of different formats that you might use, and you might want to use parts of them. For example, print materials. When we talk about print materials, this includes books, periodicals, pamphlets, newspapers. And a teacher or student may make a single copy of a chapter in a book, a short story, short essay, short poem, a chart, a graph, a diagram, cartoon, or a picture. And the teachers can use it in their teaching. Another kind of format might be a comic or a graphic novel that you would like to use. You can use 2 pages, and they may be copied as long as the 2 pages don't make up 10% of the book. You might want to use some computer software. You can back up a copy of each program, and that's permitted, but it may not be used at the same time as the original. You might like to use a CD, but it is okay to use the CD, but it is illegal to make copies of any sound recordings. And then converting CDs to another format requires written permission from the owner. DVDs. They may be shown in face-to-face instruction if it is part of the curriculum. And then somebody must use equipment that recognizes the CGMS system, which is the Copy Generation Management System that is embedded in the outgoing video signal. eBooks. Some agreements limit the number of users who can access the ebook simultaneously. The number of pages that can be printed is limited, and the amount of cut and paste that a user can perform is limited. Websites. All web pages are copyrighted. The HTML, code, graphic, and collections of links are all under copyright. A notice will inform users if they may copy the materials. If you do not find the notice, then you can reproduce the material. You must obtain permission to make more than one copy for personal use. Now, let's talk about seeking permission. There are 4 things that you need to remember when seeking permission to copy a work. Be specific. For printed materials, give the page numbers and exact amount of print material you wish to copy. Fully describe non-print material. State the intended use, where it will be used, and the number of copies you wish to make. Remember, there can be negotiable fees. If the fee is beyond your budget, don't hesitate to ask if it can be lowered. Write a formal notice of non-use. Notify the creator if the work is not used. They will most likely assume you used it and charge you. And then keep copies. Keep copies of correspondence and records of contacts. The resources I used were the collection program in schools, and then also our textbook, Instructional Technology, a Media for Learning. Here's the rubric that we will be using, Ms. Stewart and I will be using whenever you are going through your lesson with Ms. Stewart, your activity. A 0 means that you don't know copyright rules and can't explain any part of them. A 1 is, with adult assistance, you know copyright rules and can explain some of them. A 2, you know some of the terms regarding copyright rules and can explain some of the rules with some adult assistance. A 3, you know most of the copyright rules and terms and can explain them by yourself. And then 4, you know the copyright terms and rules well enough that you can make connections independently.